Shocking news today, Alberta's unemployment rate has surged to 7.9%. That's way higher than the Canadian average of 7.3%. It's higher than in Quebec, the welfare case of Canada, where it's just 7.6%. Now, a year ago, Alberta's unemployment rate was just 5.4%. Now it's 7.9%. And you think it's done climbing? Look, Rachel Notley hasn't even brought in her massive carbon tax yet. That's still coming. It's so big, it'll be the equivalent of a 3% provincial sales tax. Do you think that will create jobs or kill jobs? And Notley hasn't yet jacked up the minimum wage to $15 an hour, as she promised to do. So restaurant workers, junior positions, entry-level jobs, the first people to be let go when times get tough, those jobs are already in jeopardy. Do you think forcing employers to pay more for the same workers when those jobs are already teetering on the brink, do you think that will create jobs or kill jobs? Notley hasn't lifted a finger to get oil pipelines through, which was her entire rationale for bringing in the carbon tax, as if that carbon tax would convince anti-Alberta haters and anti-oil haters to suddenly love the oil sands and pipelines. What a liar. I don't even think she believed that rationale. But she doesn't care. And now that she sees that the carbon tax hasn't opened the way for pipelines, do you think she's reconsidering it? Of course not. Hey, look today, she's positively boasting in the Edmonton Journal that she deserves credit for the new war on methane that Justin Trudeau and Barack Obama announced in Washington. Now, Obama is a lame duck. He'll never get past the press release stage here, but Notley and Trudeau are excited about declaring war on natural gas. That's what methane is. Of course, they've already taken out the oil sands and pipelines. Now they're coming from natural gas and fracking. And Notley's taking credit for that. So here's the thing, to you and me, and anyone who lost their job or anyone who knows someone who has, this is a disaster. But it's not a disaster to the NDP. It's not a disaster to Trudeau. This is what Stéphane Dion first called the green shift in his 2008 campaign as Liberal leader, punishing oil and gas so hard that people shift to other things, that those industries are shut down. The NDP has not passed a single law shutting down a single oil project, neither has Justin Trudeau. They don't need to. They just put so many taxes and barriers and red tape that companies and investors just naturally leave. What do you think that green shift would look like in the end? Well, it would look like what's going on now. Mass unemployment. Oh, right, and any moment now, 100,000 new green energy jobs are gonna sprout up, building wind turbines and solar panels in Alberta. Any moment now, that's the shift part, but no. I'll tell you who is getting lots of jobs though, government workers, unionized government civil servants. That's who Rachel Notley cares about. Don't tell me that this is all because of low oil prices. Saskatchewan has low oil prices too, and the same pipeline problems too. They're even more export-oriented proportionately than Alberta, but they don't have a provincial government declaring war against their own workers. Look at their unemployment rate. Sure, it's up a bit too, to 5.9%, but that's still 2 points lower than Alberta's because they're not at war with their own workers. But there is one bright spot in the Alberta economy for government workers. In the year of disaster, 2015, look at this. The public sector grew by a staggering 47,000 jobs. That's 12.7% growth in 1 year. Worst recession in a generation, worst deficit ever. But you wouldn't know it if you looked at the public sector. Rachel Notley's friends, the friends of her husband, Lou Arab, the union boss for CUPE, there has never been fatter times in Alberta, never better paid, never more civil servants. I say again, to you and me, this looks like a disaster, but if you always wanted to get the world off of fossil fuels, if you always wanted to sock it to capitalists, isn't what's happening in Alberta precisely what you wanted? Ending oil and gas, ending their jobs, and creating 47,000 new government jobs. Yeah, this isn't a disaster for the NDP or for Justin Trudeau. This is their plan. For the Rebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant.